Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. You know that I like to feature people on my show who are doing good work in the world, in their little corner of the world, in their community. I wanted to bring on Melissa Kenady. She was on about a year ago when launching her own brokerage firm, and I have her back here to talk about the pitfalls and success of starting over, and also the work that she's doing in the community, partnering with her agents right there, part of Kenady Group. Okay, thanks for being here, Melissa.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You have been on my show a few times over the years. I call you my Jennifer Aniston because she was the first guest on many different shows when they would start talk shows like Ellen and things. And you have been my season starter many times before. So thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
A year ago, you decided to leave the firm that you were with and start your own brokerage firm, Kenady Group. And it was a big, scary decision. And I wanted to have you here partly to inspire people who are watching, who are thinking about going out on their own or have an idea they want to bring to fruition that they don't even think they can do or don't know where to start or any of those things. So it doesn't matter what kind of business or what kind of an idea, it really is about sticking to it. And, you know, when there's a fork in the road, take that fork in the road and just keep moving forward. So thanks for being here. I think you'll inspire a lot of people.
I hope so.
Yes. So you started out, you were in corporate America you worked with nonprofits and then corporate America. And you're a single mom. So that didn't really work very well for you to get called away and be gone a lot and try and get 3 girls all around town for all of their events. So that was part of the appeal of getting into real estate to begin with.
Yes, I just was really excited about the earning potential, the ability to still be a part of the community and help people, but also be in charge of my own schedule and able to attend hockey tournaments and swim meets and, search for colleges and all the things. So.
Well, now what you've done then, so you started your own brokerage firm, you're zooming in from it now, and you have, really done a good job of getting over jumping through the hoops, getting over the hurdles. And I know that there were times that you thought, how am I ever going to do this? Am I cut out for this? This is too big of a dream. How am I going to do it? So talk a little bit about those hard times and those challenges that you faced, the doubt that you had.
I think, oh gosh, I think there's just so much to be said, right? I think that there's the roadblocks just in creating a business of paperwork and systems and all of those things. And then there's the roadblocks that are in your head of just worthiness and deservability and whether you're capable or not. I think the most important thing I did was I surrounded myself with people who I knew would be my biggest cheerleaders, people who ended up not being in my corner or maybe just a little bit more doubtful. I tended to stay away from them or shy away from them just because I have enough of that self-dialogue and self-talk going on in my head. I don't need it from outside sources. So I think that's probably the biggest thing really is just choose who you're around and who's in your corner.
Yeah, because they say what we are the 5 people we surround ourselves with or so. And I think that that's a really important thing. That negative self-talk that you said that we all have inside of us, you need almost 3 other people saying the opposite for you. So if you have a couple of people who are reiterating what you're saying in your head that isn't so good, well, then you're not getting very far.
Right. I completely agree with that. And I think that you need to have people to turn to. So when you do have those conversations going on in your head and that dialogue happening, that you have people who are, quick to help you pivot and quick to remind you of what you are capable of.
Tell me then, what have you learned about yourself in this process? From what has surprised you about going out on your own, running your own business from the beginning to now where you are at this 1-year anniversary? What has surprised you the most?
I think the ability for when you're doing good and you are you're just a good person, your ability to attract like-minded people. Entrepreneurial people think differently. We tend to be big thinkers. We want other people to see our dreams and we want to be impactful on those other people. And I think, having so many women out of the gate just see it, believe in the vision, and want to be a part of it, I think was really impactful. I think it's okay to make mistakes. That was, it's all a learning process. We don't do things right. I think being able to hold yourself in a little bit of grace when you do make mistakes, because not everyone will hold you in grace and will hold you accountable. And there's an ugly side to competition and to the marketplace. And I think that, again, you just know that if you're on the right path and you're following your heart, that you're going to make a difference, whatever that difference is.
Now I've been a single mom since my son was 5 when my husband passed away. You've been a single mom for how long now?
Oh my gosh. I want to say like 8 years now.
8 years. And so one of the things that you and I have talked about many times in our conversation and our friendship over the years is just how important it is that we are an example to our kids, that we show them what's possible, that we are honest about failure and about trying again and about second chances. I always say I'm a second chance taker as many times as I'm given.
Mhm.
And so what do you think your girls are observing? You have twins who are going into their second year of college, and then Avery is 10 years old. What do you think they're learning, or what do you overhear? What do you think their interpretation is of all of this?
Oh, it's probably different depending on which
Which one you're at and which day, right?
right, and which day. I've been very transparent in the growth, in the difficulty, and in the success. I really hope that they're proud of my accomplishments and they see the work I've put into this. Um, I hope that I have inspired them and shown them that women can do whatever they want to do, that their dream is just as valuable, and that it's kind of, the possibilities are limitless. I also try to just every day send that message back into their lives, and just kind of mirror that back into their lives. So my 10-year-old right now is swimming for a summer swim team. And we just had a conversation just the other day about how she's working on her times. And I said, that's the beauty of swim and of each different meet, is you're just improving yourself. Like, you're just focusing on yourself. You're trying to beat the time that you got last week. And I think that is kind of a metaphor for our everyday. Like, we're just trying to do better and be better.
It's
And
personal best, right? Just
yes.
exceeding that personal best. Yeah, for sure. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want us to talk a little bit more about community, but also something that you and I are going to partner on this very show. So we'll talk about that and make that announcement in just a moment. We're talking with Melissa Kenady from Kenady Group. We'll be back. We are back talking with Melissa Kenady of Kenady Group, celebrating a 1-year anniversary of another successful business here in the Wenatchee Valley. We've talked a lot about community and the things that you support over the years. You used to be the executive director for Wellness Place. You've volunteered for different committees and different boards of directors. One of the things that I like about your office, so you can kind of see it in the mirror behind you, you have featured artists up on the wall, and one happens to be a young woman named Rachel Marquis. She did that artwork. There's a bio description of her with her picture. And I know you have plans to just make sure that even your office, it supports the community, the walls, not just the people.
Yes. And there's so many different opportunities for that, from, the little gifts we put in our closing baskets. We have like handmade soaps from a local merchant. We have, we use local wines and different things. The art on the wall. All of our agents are involved in some form of community endeavor, whether it's Alethea or the Eastmont football moms group, or we have a nurse here. Everyone is involved somehow in some way. And they're all very different ways of being involved, but just as rewarding, I think.
Let's talk about something both that you and I enjoy very much, which is reading. We're always swapping books and talking about different podcasts we're listening to. And you and I seem to start our mornings sending each other reels. Some of them are funny and inappropriate, and some are inspirational. We won't talk about the inappropriate ones, but anyway. So let's talk about what you and we've decided over the last year, trying to figure out how we can go about bringing a book club to the show. So we got all the details worked out. Yay. So we're starting a book club, and you and I have talked about starting a book club for probably 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
And then it occurred to me, why don't we do a book club on the show? That would make a lot of sense.
Yes.
So I don't know. And you've been part of other book clubs, but what appeals to you about us doing this, the book club?
I am always looking for ways to show women their power and make, we've talked a lot about community involvement, but I feel like book clubs are just another way of inviting community and allowing people to make a difference in their lives and the lives of others. Usually it's easy to find, relatable content and just kind of strengthen those bonds of community. So I'm so excited about this opportunity.
Probably the only hard part is going to be choosing which ones we read, but which ones we share that we've read. So we're going to announce that here in the next couple of months, and that'll be announced on this show. And then we'll come back, and once a quarter, we'll do a show about the book we've read, and ideally have the author be part of that show, but have different people who are part of the club. So if you want to join our book club, we'll give you all the information. We're going to actually put some of it on your website. We're going to have a community page on your website, so you'll be able to find out about the book club, and on my website. So you can be part of the book club, and then maybe we'll have a situation where you can write in if you say what you loved about the book, and maybe be part of the show as well. So just wanted it to be for everyone else. So we'll announce the book during one segment of a upcoming show, but then we'll dedicate an entire episode about once a quarter to the book that we select. We thought once a month might be a little too ambitious. Should we say that? Not too ambitious. We just want to give it the time it deserves.
Yes, I agree. And I think one of the conversations you and I have had too is it won't all be self-help or self-improvement or business books. We're going to do some fiction and some nonfiction and things like that in there as well. So it should appeal to everyone, which is exciting.
One that we're reading together right now that we're thinking we're going to use, we wanted to finish the book first, right? We need to finish the book before we recommend it, is a memoir, a nonfiction memoir. And so, yeah, all different types. But I just really think that, when I was a kid and I started figuring out in Mrs. Schulba's class that those letters, that are stapled up in kindergarten, once I figured out that they made words, and then the words became sentences, and I just felt like I was off and running. It just opened up an entire new world. And some of us, I think, we get busy, we get lazy, we get, distracted, and we have a book on our nightstand for weeks before we even open it up, or we're reading a couple different things and we get distracted. So this might be a way to help people who haven't been reading in a while to get back to reading and have some accountability. And then that's that open discussion that we can have about the book once we're all done with it.
Yes. And the ability to, hopefully meet some of the authors and talk to them about, what inspired them and what's coming next. And that's just another part of building community and like chasing dreams. There's so many women and people that I've heard that want to be an author or want to write or learn how to write. And I think that that's going to be really fun.
Well, we're going to bring on Ashley in just a moment for the last segment of the show. But before we do that, we have just a minute left. Can you tell me something that you would want someone watching here who wants to go out on their own, who's having a difficult time imagining that, whether it's financially or getting the support around them? What's your one word of advice before we end this segment and go on with Ashley?
Oh, one word.
Well, one thought.
Okay. I would say to start dreaming, allow yourself to dream, and then find people who are also dreamers and surround yourself with them. And I don't mean just from a support perspective or friendship perspective, but you need a team. You need a good business coach. You need a good accountant. You're going to need
All the
a
things that make you
brain.
successful, right?
Yes. So don't be afraid to ask for help. And then that opens up and allows you the opportunity to fulfill your dream and do the thing that you do well.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We're going to talk with Ashley in just a minute. We're back. We've been talking with Melissa Kenady from Kenady Group, and now joining us is her partner in crime on their new podcast called What's in Your Cup, Ashley Reynolds. Thanks for joining the show with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So I want to get to the podcast, but I also want to talk a little bit about your jump from working elsewhere, coming to Kenady Group and working as an agent. You'd had success before this. We've seen your billboard on the street that Melissa put up from her team. Talk about making that move and what you were looking for in Kenady Group and what you found.
I feel like when I made the decision to leave where I was before, there was the list of things that I was looking for just outweighed the list of like benefits that I had. And I feel like after Melissa and I had been in a car ride, actually, we were driving to Moses Lake and we were both talking about it. And we realized that the things that I was looking for were things that Melissa wanted. And with her just like mentioning that she wanted to own her own brokerage, I was like, yes, like I am there, open it. And I will be the first one, like with you, let's go. And so that's how I made that.
And you were the first one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
She absolutely was. And I don't know if I could have accomplished as much as I accomplished without her cheering me on in the background, like just from passing my designated broker's test and the construction and getting through that of our office. I mean, she was literally my biggest cheerleader. And when I would doubt myself, she would step in and be like, no, just get it done. So it was pretty awesome.
Here you are. Well, let's talk about what you're working on together as well, because I know community is important for you. You have an Instagram page and work that you do called Your NCW Living, Ashley. And then I know, Melissa, from our history, you're very involved in the community, volunteering and being part of different boards and committees. So community is important, and you wanted it to be important to the agents that you bring on. So you have a podcast now called What's in Your Cup, and it is community oriented, but it also just is about, well, what is in your cup, what fills you up. So tell us about the podcast, Melissa.
Yeah, so we kind of just brainstormed this together one day, and we just felt like there needed to be a better medium for us to get the message out about the different activities going on around the community, to answer so many client questions that come in that our team seems to get asked and that we answer over and over and over again. And so we just got really excited and decided to launch the podcast. So we start off with talking about literally what's in our cup. We come with something different every time. What we're drinking, what we're trying to drink, what we're trying not to drink,
Yeah.
all the things. And then we talk about the community and what's going on and different events that we've been to or that we're trying to support. And then we lead into a mini kind of real estate session where we talk about changes in the market or what to expect if you're going to still wanting to list your house, but it doesn't seem to be such a frenzy, or how a buyer can be prepared, and just different things that we feel are really important.
And talk about, Ashley, your NCW Living. How is that different from the podcast, or does it marriage well together? And that's part of adding to the message you're already sending to your community.
Yeah, I think that it does marriage well together because I cover on my Instagram and on the Facebook a lot of the visual of, there's a lot of people that look for what's going on and they want to see a list of things, or they want to, they've got time to scroll. They've got time to be on those platforms to see kind of what's going on in the community. And I think that it ties really well with the podcast, because that was kind of the one thing that we realized we weren't seeing what's happening around us, where you weren't being able to listen to it. Cause I know that in the car and driving around, like I like listening to podcasts. And I feel like being able to have something that was Wenatchee based and done well, and that was interesting. And I mean, I like listening to me and Mel talk, so too. But
You're
yeah,
figuring other people do as well.
yeah, we think we're funny. So I just think that those paired really well together.
So now what is the goal going forward? You've done episodes, they come out each week.
Mhm.
That's a commitment, once you get started to make sure you make that time. So now what can people expect going forward, or any changes, or just more of the same? What response have you received so far, Melissa?
I think we're definitely in the growing process for sure, and we're open to ideas. We really would like to expand and start hosting community influencers and different people that we've met throughout the community. We'd like to start hosting them on our show just to help them get the word out about things that are going on. We've talked about having lender and an escrow person, and just trying to help the community navigate all these things.
Ashley, you have been with Kenady Group since near the beginning, and part of what we're talking about on this episode is that it's the 1-year anniversary, and just encouraging people who go out on their own in any form of business or any idea that they have. It can get frustrating. You can run into roadblocks, and a lot of people, that's when they give up. So a year in now to your newest venture with Melissa, what have you learned about yourself or about your work ethic or the work you're trying to do in real estate that you maybe didn't do before, or maybe it just enhanced it with the group you're in?
Oh yeah, I've learned, and this is, I think, not even just for myself, but I've learned that we are way more capable than we give ourselves credit for.
Mhm.
Like when we're going into something, like watching Melissa go from like, I don't know, like this is just like, this would be a cool thing, to like, I'm opening a business. This is what's happening. We've got our own office. Like we've got billboards. We're serious and we are helping people. It's just been like really cool. And I think that we don't give ourselves enough credit
Mhm.
in the very beginning.
Well, Melissa talks a lot about your positive attitude behind your back in a good way. And we were recently at a concert with a whole bunch of other people, and we got tickets to the pit, like all of a sudden, from the lawn chair to the pit. And Avery, Melissa's 10-year-old daughter, is her first concert. And I jokingly said to her, girl, this doesn't usually happen. And I'm a very positive, optimistic, glass half full person, but seriously, it doesn't usually happen. But and you said, yes, it does. You just think it has, and it will. You said something like that. And I thought, wow, I thought I was positive. I need to maybe be even more positive. So what you said stuck with me. So I think that's a good thing. But the pit is a lot of fun. I hope Avery gets to experience most concerts that way, but we'll
It
see.
was so sweet seeing her up there. Like she was so close. It was the coolest thing to watch. Yeah, no,
like awesome. 1 or 2 people away from the stage. That was just amazing.
And you know what? I feel like, just to mention on the positive thing, that was not how I always was or how I've always been. I think that that's something that has also been a part of my growth, is like looking at things differently and trying to, be solution oriented and be positive. And okay, well, even if this like negative thing happens, like how are we going to use it to our advantage? Like what are we doing to turn this around? And I think that has taken some time for me to work on, but it's me now and I'm holding on for dear life. I'm not letting that go.
Well, good for you.
One thing too that Ashley's taught me just through business is how to hold like strong and not question yourself so much, I think that's a really important quality, but I think the rest of the team really benefits from that as well. And I think that's one thing that I can say about just our office in general is we're just a fun group. We're so supportive and can ask questions of each other, and, they're helping each other, and I don't even know, and like, they're not even texting me or calling me, they're calling each other, which I think just speaks to the quality of people that are here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for all of you. And I just wanted to have you here, Melissa, to celebrate just another successful business here in the Valley, and congratulate both of you and all of your team. Keep up the good work. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.